Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I'm going to solve problem solving involving motion along a straight line. So for question number 1, the exercises I give you just now. So question number 1, say a particle moves in a straight line and passes through a fixed point O with a velocity of 24 meter per second. Okay, there's a velocity given 24 meter per second and acceleration denoted as A. And here's the acceleration, which is A equals to 10 minus 2t. The particle stops after k second. So the first question says that we have to find the maximum velocity of the particle. Okay, so how am I going to find the maximum velocity of the particle? So when the question says about the maximum velocity, the first thing that comes to your mind is that A must be equals to 0. What is A? A is the acceleration as well. A. So we said that when the maximum velocity, so A is equals to 0, so 10 minus 2t is equals to 0. So what I do now is that 10 is equals to 2t and t is equals to 10 over 2, t equals to 5. Okay? First thing first, if we want to find the maximum velocity, we have to find the t. So after we get the t, so we can get the velocity. But then we don't have the equation for velocity. So do you remember how to get the velocity? Okay, there's a powerful notes on finding v and a and s as well. S, V, and A. If you want to find S, you have to differentiate ds dt. If you want to find A, so you have to differentiate V. But if you want to find V from A, what you do is that you have to integrate A. And same goes with this one, you have to integrate V. In this case, we don't have V, we only have A. So what we do is that if we want to find V from A, we have to do the integration of A. Okay, so we take A, so A dt is actually equals to V. So V is equals to integration of A. Our A is 10 minus 2t dt. So we get, if we integrate this equation, we get 10t minus 2t square over 2 plus c. So this is our V. Don't forget, if you integrate something, you must have c. V 10t minus t square plus c. Okay, next one. We don't want our c here. We have to change this into number because we don't want more than one variable in our equation. Okay, so I have C here. So what I do is that from the first questions here, given that V is equals to 24. So we put 24 here. And then let T is equals to 0. So your C will be 24. Okay, so in this case, when velocity is equal to 24, t equals to 0, then c will get 24. So in this case, v is equals to 10t minus t square plus 24. So can we get our maximum velocity? Of course. So our maximum velocity is equals to, I put t inside the formula, 5 minus 5 square plus 24. So this is equals to 50 minus 5 square plus 24. And your t, if you calculate with your calculator, you get your v is equals to 49. Okay, so that's question A, 1A. A1. Now moving on to A2, the question said find the value of K. So we have to find the value of K. Okay, how are we going to find the value of k? When the question said the particle stops. So look back at your notes. When the particle stops, what happened? When it stops, it should be v equals to 0. Okay? So you have the equation v here. So what you do is that you just need to make it equals to 0. So I want to make sure that my t square is to be positive. So what I do that is I multiply this with -1 to make me easier to solve the questions. Okay, next step is that I factorize this. You can use your calculator to factorize, but I know the answer is t minus 12 t plus 2. So when you calculate t is equals to 12 and t equals to -2. So kids, t cannot be negative. So we see that our t is equals to 12. So t is actually k and k is equals to 12. Okay? So, next one is, okay, moving on to the question B. Still in the first question, moving on to question 1B. Okay, 1B said, the question asks us to sketch the velocity time graph. So what you do is that you have to sketch a graph. If you want to sketch a graph, first thing you have to do, you must have a table. So the graph says that, the question says that it should be in this range, k. So because we know our k is equals to 12, so we just substitute it inside. So this is your t, this is your v. Now, we have to find what is the correct value of t to be substituted so that we don't need to sketch all values of t. So in this case, we have t equals to 0. What is the value of v? And then we have when a equals to 0, t equals to 5. And what is v? And then last one is when t is equals to 12. So we have to find what is v. Now kids, why do I need to put a equals to 0, t equals to 5? Because we want to find where will be the particle turn. At what point the particle will be at the maximum value. So that's why we have to take a equals to 0. So when a equals to 0, because just now we find a equals to 0, we don't need to do anymore. A equals to 0, then t is equals to 5. Okay, so when t equals to 0, so I got 3 values here. Because you are sketching the graph, you don't need all the values of t from 0 until 12. But if you want to do so, it's up to you. But you are just wasting your time. Only 3 values is enough. Okay, so when t is equals to 0, you should get your answer to be... wait, let's do this together. So v just now, the equation of v is 10t minus t squared plus 24. So use your calculator and get v. To get v. Okay. So 10. Okay, when t is equal to 0, definitely v is equal to 24. Okay. Next one, when t is equals to 5. 5 square plus 24. So you get 49. And v, what is minus 12 square plus 24? And you get 0. So how do you sketch the graph? So here you go. Okay, you got 3 values. You got 5, 10, 15. You got, what is your v? V, this is t. So you got, let's say we have 20, 40, and 60. Okay, so when t is equals to 0, v is equals to 0. When t is equals to 5, then when t equals to 0, v equals to 24. When t equals to 5, v equals to 49. And this one is 0. So when t equals to 0, v is equals to 24. 24 is something like here. 24. So 5, 49. 12 is 0. So this is supposed to be your graph. Okay. Next thing is, after we have sketched the graph, so we have to find the total distance traveled during that period. Now, to find the total distance, you cannot take it from the velocity. You have to find the s, the displacement. Because to find the distance, anything about distance is related to displacement. Now, because we don't have our equation of s yet, we have to create one. So how do we create s? So from the powerful formula just now, to get s, we have to integrate v. So let's integrate v. To get s, we have to integrate the equation of v. So we have integration of 10t minus t squared plus 24 dt. So if we integrate that, we'll get minus t power 3 over 3 plus 24t, and don't forget to put c, because this is indefinite integral. Okay, so how do we get c? How do we want to find the value of c? Because from the question, there's no value of s given, so we can say that our s is 0, t is 0, so we just substitute everything inside the formula. So we see that our c is equals to 0. So our equation of s is equals to 5t squared minus t power of 3 over 3 plus 24t. And since c is equal to 0, I don't want to put it anymore. Now, calculate the total distance traveled during that period. Okay, so in this case, we have to find the time first. So time 0 and time 12. Okay, but before that, this one, we get the maximum value of v when it's at a equals to 0, then t equal to 5. So to find the maximum value of displacement, so what we do is that v must be equals to 0. So what is the value when v equals to 0? Okay, we get v equals to 0 just now. So here you go, when v equals to 0, our t is equals to 12. So we have 0 and 12 already, so we don't need to find v0 because t is actually 12. This is actually the same. So when t equals to 0, our s is equals to 0 as well. When t is equals to 12, so s is equals to, you just need to put everything inside the formula. So you get s is equals to, okay, I need to calculate this. Okay, let's put it together. 12 square minus 12 cube over 3 plus 24 12. So you get it's equals to 432. So we see that when s equals to 0, t is equals to 0, and it move to t equals to 12, and we get 432, the distance. So distance traveled is equal to 432 meters. Okay, that's all.